भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य नञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
It's by, the sound of the bell.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. As you can see, yesterday Sundar Gopāl Prabhuji is uh, having a bit of a time to get connected. I request, except for Sundar Gopāl Prabhuji, to be on mute. Everyone else can be on mute, please. Okay, I have. Okay. So, Prabhu, I think the alignment may be a little better.
If it is below, right?
It can be a little minimized if possible. It's too big for now.
Too big.
Yeah, on the screen. It's not fitting in. The translation, the Sanskrit is good, but I think the translation would not fit in.
Just a minute. Oh. Okay, said portion of the screen will be shared. No? I think usually I drag it down, I just drag it down and it goes down. Switch off this or close.
Yeah.
Close all that. Yeah, close this thing. Yeah, close. Close that. Okay, now. Then share screen, it's a point. Basic.
Yeah, perfect. Nice.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my all these people want now.
So thank you very much for joining for this week's session. Apologies for the last week's session. Was not been able to we are not able to go live for last week's session as Prabhu was traveling. And as you can see, he is in a different location other than Singapore, which is Philippines. His Grace Rajkishore Prabhuji and Radhika, headed by Rajkishore Prabhuji, the Philippines chapter. And Prabhu has, graced the place and the location and to inspire the devotees there. And he's on Yatra. And, as you can see, he's trying to settle down with the connections. So without much ado, I think we have spent a little bit of time into the session, and we can straight away head forward into the session. And I would, as such, I would like to give the mic to His Grace Mohan Prabhu to take the session forward and you know open the floor for questions. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So, thank you very much for inviting me to your wonderful association. It's nice seeing all of you again. So, we have a question here. Which category tiny living entities like bacteria and viruses belong? Also, are cells living entities or just building blocks of matter? For example, cancer cell is a living entity or just dead matter? So, you can see there's a sloka in the Brahma Samhita. So there is a Indra Gopa. In the Brahma Samhita, there's an Indra Gopa, which is referring to all these tiny cells. You can see this verse. Give me a minute. You gotta give me a little minute because I'm working from somebody else's computer. So, I don't know this system here. Not opening up though. What to do? And this verse, uh, two is not working. I have to call him to help me out. Give me a minute now. Oh, I think what, can you take out the verse for me? It's easier. Anyone, I'll stop my screen share. Pretty Goranga.
Yes, Prabhu. Let me
I
try
just
to
take
share.
out the verses, easier for me. Can you
Oh,
take
yeah,
out the Samhita
yeah.
554?
If I can get the access,
I will come out of my share screen.
somebody has.
Sharing, all right. I'm going out. All right, now you take over and open the screen and take out this word.
Portfolio. Share. Is it visible, Prabhu?
Very smaller. You got to make it bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You got to increase the font size. Go to 200.
200. Yes, it is 200.
Too small.
Still. Okay.
Hey, Haribol. Hello.
I can increase.
Your function 2 key doesn't work. It works, bro. I tried and tried, it's not working. No, you have to be on this one now. And then. Oh, because you're in the thing, no? No, he's now. No, no. I asked him to do it. Here. Now you do. Function way. F2, bro, this one. Oh, no need to press this. I need to press. Function 2. F2. Yeah. Because okay, I've got it again. Now I'll share the thing. Huh? Yeah, you sing it around for a while. Otherwise, I have to keep following you. I've got a lot of technical issues here now because another person. I'll share the screen first, bro. But it's not being shared. Yeah, I'll
Stop.
share the screen again. No?
Sure, bro.
You have to come out though.
I did, bro.
Yeah. Screen share.
554.
Yes, 554. This 554. I got this. So, okay, here you can see this verse. Yes, Tua Indra Gopam, you know. So this word Indra Gopam means it's a it's like bacteria like, you know, very tiny living entity. Because here Prabhupada translated as a small red insect called Indra Gopa. But, you know, it also refers to all these tiny living entities, which are actually to indicate the smallest to the biggest is Lord Indra, you know, they all are subject to karma. So all these living entities, they are there in the atoms, not atoms actually, bacteria. They are living beings who are also in the smallest form, you know. So it is not that they all don't have any life or they're from matter or what. No, nothing can move or live or grow without life inside. Unless there's a spiritual force, it is not possible for it to, you know, have all these activities, you know. So in the tiniest form as bacteria, worms and germs and everything, that is in the reptile family. So it comes from that. Uh, is it clear? Who is this asking the question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, it's clear.
Ah. So any other questions? Any other questions? As you all know, that every living entity, unless there is a spirit soul inside, is not possible for it to. And Krishna also said, you know, that those who are very offensive, I cast them to lower and lower species where they remain there perpetually. So all these tiny worms and germs and all that, very tiny, you know. So if you go become very offensive to Krishna, you have to take birth as such. Hmm? So we have to be very careful. Huh? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Matter by itself is not, it is not, you know, possible for it to function. See, you need the spiritual energy to make it work. No. The Bhagavad Gita, it says here, in the Bhagavad Gita, you can see here in this verse, Aparayamitasva anyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhutam mahabhavo yayedam dharyate jagat. You see this word? Yayedam dharyate jagat. So here, beside this, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the results of this material inferior nature. So these living entities who are of superior nature, they are the one who are exploiting the results of material inferior nature. So without the spiritual energy, that's not possible for the material thing to function. Ah. A simple example, if the mother wants to conceive, unless there's a soul in the body that infuses with the living entity, I mean with the what do you call that, the material byproduct of the mother, then the life is breathed in. Otherwise, it's not possible for anything to function, because there are different kind of birth. There's in the Shastra, it says there are 4 kinds of birth. One is by, what do you call that? Embryo, yes.
Yes.
And what is the other one? Who knows?
Respiration.
Another one is plant by seeds. Another one is by eggs. And then there's another one, the germs and all, they breathe from the sweat, no? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. Who knows that verse? Anyone?
Andaja Shvedana.
Hmm?
Andaja Shvedana.
So what is that verse? Andaja. Hmm? Hmm? Anyone? Who is there? So many of you here, no? What is this thing? What is it? Andaja Udbija.
42464.
Who knows?
42464.
What?
42464 purport.
424. Where is the verse actually,
Oh, okay.
You must know the verse, no?
Andaja, Svecha, Bija, and Jarayuja.
424, what?
42464 purport.
64. But where find the verse? No.
I'll check, Prabhu. Yeah.
So here, see, some are born a way of embryo, Jarayuja, then by eggs, Andaja, perspiration, Svedaja. This is perspiration is where the germs and worms they come out, no? And like the trees by seeds. So this is there. I think it's 1122. Someone can look for me.
518:32.
It is 1122. 518?
32.
518:32. All right. So here this the verse, see? Jarayujam Svetajam Ando Jo Vidam Characharam Devarishipitra Putam Bhutam Aindrayam. See? So in this verse you see one born from a womb One born from perspiration. You see, that's the one we are talking about, is worms and germs. Huh? Yes? Then there's
Yeah.
one born from egg and ubidam. One is born of earth. That means the seeds, no? Yes? My dear Lord, you manifest your different energies in countless forms as living entities born from womb, from eggs, from perspiration, as plants and trees that grow uh, out of earth, as all living entities, both moving and standing, including the demigods, the learned sages, and the pittas, the outer space, the higher planetary system containing the heavenly planets, and as the planet Earth with its hills, rivers, sea, ocean, and islands. Indeed, all the stars and planets are simply manifestation of your different energies, but originally you're one without a second. Therefore, there is nothing beyond you. This entire cosmic manifestation is therefore not false, but is simply a temporary manifestation of your inconceivable energy. So you can see how everything is coming from the Lord. It is not that, oh, the germs and worms are, something else. No, everything is under the management of the Lord.
Audio level very low.
How is the audio to increase? Oh, I have to increase here. Audio level.
Audio setting.
Okay.
Input volume.
All right. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
All right. They will scream at my voice. Anyway, you understand this verse now? It's everything is coming from the Lord. No. Correct? Huh? There's another verse also. There's so many verses. So you can see how everything is, every living entity is accounted for. Not that nothing, everything is working by, chance or by, no. Yeah, this is the another verse here. It shows how everything is coming from God. No. So you see here, describing the creation, Hmm? Sari Sarpa, moving entities like worms and snakes and etc. So, of the two energies, manifest spirit and dull matter, been possessing living forms, vegetable, grass, trees, and plants are superior to dull matter, stone, and earth. I think I showed what do you call that? Cutting in my WhatsApp to all the members about how the stone were living, no? Did you all see that? How the stone was growing?
Yeah.
Did you see that? I think it was in which country? Romania or something? Huh? And they also multiply and all that. You see? Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables, the worms and snakes. No, worms are called krimi, bacteria like. So you can see how every living entity is the manifestation of the Lord. There are three energies. One is the spiritual energy, and the other one is the material energy, and the third one is the living energy, which is the marginal energy, Tataksha Shakti. So hey, you gotta do this. Yeah. So you see that all these energies are three kinds. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta. So you see, so everything has to be inside this three, things. Either it is in the, of course, spiritual energy means expansions of the Lord, and then you have the material energy which is dead, and only can be woken up by, by uh, by the Vishnu Shakti Pro.
6154 Matthew.
So here you see this verse here. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Chetra Gyakya Tata Para Avedya Karma Samgyaya Tritiya Shakti Ishyate. The internal potency of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is spiritual, as verified by the Sadhu. There's another potency known as Kshetragya or the living entity. The third potency, which is known as Nisan, makes the living entity godless and fills him with fruitive activity. In the Bhagavad Gita, in Sri Krishna's discourse on the Kshetra and the Kshetragya, it's clearly stated that Kshetragya is the living entity who knows his field of activities. The living entities in the material world are forgetful of their eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This forgetfulness is called avidya or nescience. The avidya Shakti, the avidya potency of the material world provokes fruitive activity, although this avidya Shakti, material energy or nescience, is also an energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, especially intended to keep the living entity in a state of forgetfulness. This is due to their rebellious attitude towards the Lord. Thus, although the living entities are constitutionally spiritual, they come under the influence of potency of nescience. How this happens is described in the following words. So this is how the three energies work. That means material energy needs a spiritual input to activate it. Just like the Lord glance the material energy, and then immediately the material energy started working. So when the glancing is symptomized by the spirit soul being implanted in the uh, material energy, or like a man infusing his semen in the womb of a woman, and then there's, what we say, life. Without that, nothing can come to life, no? Yes. It's again said in this place of the Bhagavatam. So here, this is how it works in the human body. But the same principle is there in every way of birth, because as we already discussed, a different kind of birth is there. So some comes out of sweat, and that's referring to the worms and germs, So here you see, under the Supreme Personality of Godhead, say under the supervision of the Supreme Lord, and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter in the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. So this is the human birth, Jaru Yuja. But then Krishna makes the soul go into the sweat of a worm or a germ, see, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. and according to the result of his work. So the living entity's soul is made to enter in different, species. In this case, he entered the womb of a woman, but that is under the supervision of the Lord. It is not independent, the worm, germ, everything is under the preview of the Lord. Just like now we had the COVID and all these things, it seems to be engineered by some person who can have designed the virus and whatnot. But all this is intelligence is given by the Lord. They cannot do it independently outside the independence of the Lord. That's not possible. That's why it says, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Madhyakshana Pakirti Susajate Chara Charanam. What is that verse? 9 what?
9:10.
No, 9:10?
Yeah.
Can't see this thing. All right, you see here? So here you can see this verse. Bhagavad Gita, Madhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sa Characharam Chara Acharam Hetunena Kauntaya Jagavi Parivartate. The material nature, which is one of my energies, working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So everything is under the control of the Lord, not that everybody can independently do whatever they like. That is a misnomer. If anyone thinks like that, then he's making a big mistake. Because the person who does not know, he thinks he's the controller, and anyone who thinks like that, as Krishna says, is the biggest fool, So you can see here, Prakriti Kiryamanani Gunair Karmani Sarvasha Ankara Vimudatma Kartahamiti Manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that any actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. So this is, everybody is under the control of the material nature. Unless, of course, you surrender to Krishna, then that's another thing. But you cannot do anything independently and thinking that, of course, you're given free will. That is there. You can either choose to surrender or not surrender. That freedom is there. But everything is under the control of the Lord. There's no, what we say, the Lord is not in what he say, he's out of control. There's no such thing. So therefore, anyone who's intelligent will be understanding this and trying to surrender to the Lord. That's intelligence. But if we think that he can do a thing independently, then actually he is a fool. That's why it says here in Sanskrit, the word used in Sanskrit is this word here. Ahankara vimuda. This ahankara vimuda means the great fool, This vimuda means a fool. He starts thinking that he is, so-called, big time doer. So I hope you understand the point that you asked this question about the living entities. Huh? Is it clear?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, it's clear. Thank you so much.
Yes. So anyone has got anything else to add or ask?
Question related to this. When the Bhagavad Gita says the city of nine gates, it calls the body the city of nine gates. Is it calling it a city because there are so many other living entities living in the body, worms, parasites, germs, and everything. And then there's, the spirit soul among them and everything. Is that why it's called the city of nine gates?
All right, just like in your house also, you may be the big owner of it, but in your house there's so many other living entities, no? Yes?
Mm.
Same way in your body, in the house, everywhere. So some are parasites, some are, living entities, so many living entities. So therefore Krishna said the living entity is all pervading in the Bhagavad Gita. Hmm? You understand? Accordingly, as Krishna, I showed you the verse, accordingly he puts each living entity in certain capacity and they have to live like that. Hmm?
Yes,
Yes?
Guru.
Hmm.
Yes.
We have to see like that, because we may think that in our body we are the only one living, but in our intestine there's so many worms and germs, no? Yes? Huh? We are
Wow.
constantly been bombarded by bacteria that we have, our immune system has to be always fighting it to keep ourselves healthy. Is it not? Hmm?
That's
Yes?
actually true.
Yeah. So our position is that there are always so many living entities trying to all, it says one living entity is food for another. You know? Yeah? There's a verse on that. Jivo jivasya jivanam. It's spoken by Narada. Yeah? So let me take that one. That verse. So it is in, I think it's in the third canto or something. Anyone knows? So here you can see how everything is created,
1:13:47.
1:13:47. What happened again? 1:13:47. Let me get to that now. Everybody can read. So you can see here in this verse, Lord Narada is speaking. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatuspadam palguni tatra mahantam jivo jivasya jivanam. Those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Like the animal that has got no hands, 4 legs. Those animals that got hands, like the tigers and the lions and all, they are, capitalizing on the 4-legged animals. And those who have no legs, they are prey for the 4-legged, and that means the legs with those without leg are the grass and the plants and all that. And they are prey for the 4-legged. And the weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule that one living being is food for another. See? And that is the whole thing. A systematic law of subsistence is in the struggle for existence is there by the supreme will. And there's no escape for anyone by any amount of planning. The living beings who have come to the material world against the will of the supreme being are under the control of the supreme power called Maya Sakti, the deputed agent of the Lord, and this Devi Maya is meant to pinch the conditioned soul by threefold miseries, one of which is explained here in this verse. The weak are the subsistence of the strong. No one is strong enough to protect himself from the onslaught of someone stronger. And by the will of the Lord, there are systematic categories of the weak, the stronger, and the strongest. There's nothing to be lamented if a tiger eats a weaker animal, including a man, because that is the law of the Supreme Lord. But although the Lord said that the human being must subsist on another living being, there is the law of good sense also. The human being is meant to obey the laws of the scripture. This is impossible for other animals. The human being is meant for self-realization, and for that purpose is not to eat anything which is not first offered to the Lord. The Lord accepts from his devotee all kinds of food preparations made of vegetables, fruit, leaves, and grain. Fruit, leaves, and milk in different varieties can be offered to the Lord, and after the Lord accepts the foodstuff, the devotee can partake of the prasadam, by which all suffering in the struggle for existence will gradually mitigated. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:26. Even those who are accustomed to eat animals can offer foodstuff not to the Lord directly, but to an agent of the Lord under the certain condition of religious rite. Injunctions of the scriptures are meant not to encourage the eaters of animals, but to restrict them by regulative principles. One living being is a source of sustenance for other stronger living beings. No one can be very anxious for his sustenance in any circumstance because they are living beings elsewhere and no living being starves for one for food at any place. Maharaj Yudhishthira is advised by Narada not to worry about his uncle suffering for want of food, for they could live on vegetables available in jungle as prasadam of the Supreme Lord and thus realize the path of salvation. Exploitation of the weaker living being by the stronger is the natural law of existence. There is always an attempt to devour the weak in different kingdoms of living beings. There is no possibility of checking this tendency by any artificial means under material conditions. It can be checked only by awakening the spiritual sense of the human being by the practice of spiritual regulation. The spiritual regulative principles, however, do not allow a man to slaughter weaker animals on one side and teach others peaceful coexistence. If you do not allow the animals peaceful coexistence, how can you expect a peaceful coexistence in human society? The blind leaders must therefore understand that the Supreme Being and then try to implement the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God or Ram Rajya is impossible without the awakening of God consciousness in the mass mind of the people of the world. So this is a fact, You cannot try to whimsically talk about uh, peace and at the same time you're, slaughtering animals by the billions. Yes?
This is a fact.
You try to do all nonsense and then talk about peace, This is rubbish. This is why there's so many wars in every country practically. Because no one is recognizing this. They all think that they are here and they are the only ones should, live and, enjoy. Everyone else is, be used for their so-called, at their expense. And this is the philosophy of animals. So as a human being, we should have compassion, love, and so many things. And that you can only attain if you are God conscious. If you are animal conscious, then how you can expect peace? There's no peace in animal kingdom. Is there any peace in animal kingdom? Huh?
None, Prabhu.
Hmm. Yes. How to be always active in the whole day and not be affected by sleep. When we are far from devotee, we respect them a lot, but whenever we come closer to them, some or other we offend them. How to avoid this? So the first thing is that you have to sleep enough, then your body will be active throughout the day. But if you don't have enough sleep, then your body will try to catch the sleep up sometime during the day. So, but if you are always sleeping, then that is in the mode of ignorance. So you should try to regulate yourself in so many hours of sleep, and that way you get, yourself, what do you say, more time for other things. So we should be careful not to, overindulge in sleeping and eating, because you eat too much, then you definitely want to sleep too much also. So everything has to be regulated. There's a verse on this, it says in the Nectar of Instruction, like that. mantra 2 actually.
यार
So here in this verse it says here, one devotional service is spoiled when it becomes too entangled in the 6 activities. The first one is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds. So this is the point that when we eat so much, then we'll have to sleep also so much. Is it not? So we should learn how to restrict our eating. That's also said in the Bhagavad Gita. Who knows Bhagavad Gita? It says you have to control your eating. What's that verse? One is regulated in his eating, sleeping, and what? So you can see here, it's explained here in this word. Swapna, avabodhas here. Swapna means dreaming, And you can only dream when you sleep, right? Yes? Yeah. Swapna, avabodhas here. Sleep and wakefulness. Right? He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains of practicing this yoga system. So you have to become regulated. You cannot try to, eat too little or sleep not enough sleep, or eat too much or sleep too much. Everything has to be regulated, and that can come very easily if you eat prasadam, and if you have to do, your spiritual discipline under the guidance of the spiritual master, then everything flows accordingly. So I would recommend you to regulate yourself, and you start all with the tongue, how much you put food into your stomach. And then it becomes easier for you. Alright? Because in another place also Krishna says that you should not eat too much, So in this verse, it's also explained here. See that? Huh? When purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the object of sense gratification, being freed from attachment, the one who lives in a suitable place, who eats little, who control his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. So this is the formula. So this eating has to be reduced. When we are far from devotees, we respect them a lot, but whenever we come closer to them, so somehow we offend them. So how to avoid this? So the best way to avoid this is to always pay obeisances. That's why our system is that we pay obeisances. In the early days, we pay obeisance in the morning, and then we also pay obeisance in the night before we go and take rest. So what is the offense knowingly, unknowingly we have done, and that will, nullify the reaction. That's why paying obeisance is so important. In this way, we will maintain our respectful position. This is the system, actually. So I would recommend you to, that's also a system of paying obeisances. You can see here. So in this verse, you can see one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation diksha and is engaged in worshipping the deity. One should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is at once in undivided devotional service, and his heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. So this is the formula for paying obeisances. We do that, then we should be able to help overcome our, disrespectful position.
So,
Yes.
yes, so
He is smaller than the smallest. The living entity is 1/10,000 parts everywhere, but the Lord is so inconceivable, is smaller than that he enters into the heart of this particle. Does it mean that the super soul enters the soul particle itself or just the heart of the living entity's body? Actually, the soul and the Lord is a bigger soul, both always soul. So the Lord enters into the heart of the soul. It does not enter into the soul. There is no such reference. There's always two birds sitting in the body of the tree, whatever the body may be.
Prabhu. Okay, then I understood right. Thank you so much.
So why the Lord should enter the soul of the it doesn't make sense. Yes?
Yeah, that's true.
Prabhu, it is said, whatever service we do for Krishna, he must have bhava. But as conditioned soul, our bhava is not correct. So in this situation, should we only focus on our sadhana and follow Prabhupada's order as duty, and slowly we will get our true bhava to serve Krishna? Now you first learn what's your name, Prabhu? Dibe Nandi, right? You're not even connected to Prabhupada yet. What to speak about having bhava? You haven't even started the first step yet. Huh? Bhava, as I've explained many times, is in the advanced stage. So before connecting to spiritual master, how are you going to develop anything?
no, actually, I mean,
Huh?
I mean that whatever actually do.
You see, you don't know anything now. You don't know anything now. Whatever you do is all your speculation. Yes?
No, actually, I do not mean that bhava stage. I mean
Huh?
that whatever service we do,
What are you
we
doing now?
must
What
have
are you
a
doing
bhava
now?
to serve.
What you doing now? It's all your mental speculation. Yes? Yes or no? So until you connect yourself to spiritual master, how are you going to get your spiritual life going? Yes? Huh? Hello?
Actually, my question is different.
What question? Huh?
Prabhu, actually, I mean that I'm not talking about that bhava stage. I'm talking about the truth that whatever service we do to Krishna, we must have bhava that no, I am doing it for Krishna,
So
and
now
I
you
do not,
cannot.
I should not
Krishna
have
will
any
not
material
accept
desire.
anything from you. You cannot do anything for Krishna now. Krishna will not accept. You understand?
Yes, that I mean. Yes.
You understand? Krishna will not accept because you're not connected to the devotee yet. Huh? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Huh? Hmm? Unless one is initiated bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. Hello, are you reading this?
Yes,
Hello?
Prabhu.
Are you reading it?
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhu.
Ah,
Yes, Prabhu.
we don't talk about bhava or anything else. Now first learn how to surrender. Huh? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, that's what I mean, because I was saying that now as a condition, so now we just have to focus on order. That's it.
No, but now you're not connected. What is the speaking of now? Huh? Hello?
Like 16,000 already
Yeah,
polished
you're
everything.
not connected. Until you get connected, then yes, everything starts working. Hello? Yes?
Okay. Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
You have to show your devotion to Prabhupada by surrendering to him first. Otherwise, why talk about so many other things? Yes? Hello?
Yes, 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 yes,
Huh?
Prabhu. Yes,
You understand or not?
yes, yes, Prabhu.
Ah, wasting time, you know. You have to learn how to do one thing at a time first, and that is to surrender to the Guru. Yeah? Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. I don't have a mic. I didn't know that till now, but I read well over half of the grain produced in America goes to the feed the cattle and other livestock and the slaughterhouse. America produces enough grain to feed 25 billion people. Why is there still hunger? Eating meat is the cause of hunger. Yeah, you're right. The demonic population always misuses everything. They don't know what to do, what not to do. They simply do anything. They simply create a mess, you know. This is the problem. You see here, they always try to hoard. The demonic mentality is always trying to hoard the grains. Hmm? See here, she says, those who are demonic do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. This is what it is. Hmm? They say that this world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire, no cause other than lust. Hmm? See that? This is how they act, these guys. Huh? Following such conclusion, demons who are lost to themselves and no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Hmm? I mean, look at that, producing all the grains and giving the animal, and whatever is not fed, they throw in the sea. These guys. Hmm? Yes. See how demonic. Uh, that's why the whole world is completely messed up. Hmm? Exalt of insatiable lust and absorbed in conceit of pride and false prestige, the demonic such illusion are always shown the unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Hmm? This is their misfortune. What to do? So many people are starving, they will never lift a finger for them. They believe to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, the anxiety is immeasurable, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires absorbed in lust and anger. They secure money by illegal means for self-gratification. Hmm? You see, this is their consciousness. demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today and I will gain more according to my scheme. So much mine now and I will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything, I am the enjoyer, I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. This is what it is all about. Yes? Hmm? You can give us the grain, how many people we will feed? That they will not do. They say, rather I throw into the sea than give it to you. Look at that. Huh? So therefore we have to first, you can only have compassion and love unless you come to God consciousness. If you don't come to God consciousness, it's not possible to have this, love and feeling for others. You cannot have that. So you can see here all the good qualities of the demigods, they are manifest. All the exalted qualities and such as religion, knowledge, renunciation become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service engaged in material activities has no good quality. Even if he is adept in the practice of mystic yoga or the honors endeavor of maintaining his family and relative, he must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of the Lord external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? Well, yes? You cannot have any good qualities. They only think of harming. That's all they can do. How to cheat, how to rob, how to steal, how to put others in difficulty. This is their meditation. They don't care. As long as he lives and others die, that's all is good for him. This is their consciousness. Whereas the Vaishnava is always thinking good for others. They are always meditating how to harm others. They're two different worlds. Huh? Yes? Any other questions? So the ISKCON devotees say there is no unity among those who believe in Ritvik. All are running in different directions. And so also the ISKCON people also there's no unity. You go and check, all their gurus are running in different directions. One guy doesn't like the other guy. What about that? Hello?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Huh? You think they are very united? Hello?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, other than go wash their own backside first before they comment. Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hello?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Tell them?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right. So, somebody raised his hand. Why? What's the question?
Prabhu, I have actually about the transgender. I have like one or two friends who are transgender. And they
What's your question? I cannot hear it very well.
Just a moment. Prabhu, I was asking, I have a couple of transgender friends and I want them to be Krishna devotees. So I like have a question about, can they do devotion service to Krishna? And also they are very much attached to demigods. They have their certain demigods who they worship.
So they are very much want to chant, but they are what? Addicted to demigod worship, huh?
Yes, they have their certain demigods who they worship.
Mm. So ask them to ask the demigod who is supreme. Hmm?
Also, Prabhuji, I am not sure if there is only men and women mentioned in Shastras as per my information. So can I really approach them to be a Krishna devotee here? Can I ask them to chant and do everything as we all do?
Just ask them to chant and ask them to read Prabhupada books, no? Hmm?
Sure, Prabhu.
Because without knowledge, how they will improve themselves? Hmm? Yes?
Sure, sure. Also, Prabhuji, if they continue to chant and if they want to have an association with us, uh, so that becomes very much difficult. So, shall we consider them as a male or female? It becomes very doubtful.
Once you chant, you go beyond the body, you know. This body is not spiritual, it's material. You understand? So the
Yes,
program
Prabhuji.
that we are introducing, chanting, is a spiritual program that make you understand that you are a spirit soul. You follow? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji, got it.
You are not man,
I'll approach
woman.
them.
Huh? What?
I'll approach them for chanting 16 rounds and let's see how it goes. And if I have any more questions, I'll get back to you in this session.
Yeah, ask them to read Prabhupada books also in chant. So in this way, they will grow spiritually by hearing from a pure devotee. Hmm?
Definitely, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the information. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
you try to do encourage them, huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So at the present situation, how can be more attentive to my sadhana? I am trying my best, waking up very early, finishing my round, listening to lecture, reading, but I want to increase it, but somehow I'm not able to do it. So what shall I do? Who is this? Huh? So you keep doing what you're doing now, and gradually you will see improvement. Hmm? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
The best thing is that I would recommend you to go and stay with the devotees for some time. So anyhow, I SKM temple, that will be a big help for you. Hmm? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. You just go to our temple and then you'll see how you will improve spiritually. Hmm? Yes?
Sure, Prabhu. Yes.
So you try. Where you staying? Calcutta, is it?
Not Calcutta, Prabhu. I came here for holiday.
Where you stay?
Mendapur, West Bengal, Mendapur.
So you try if you can go to any of our temples, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
Harish
Back
Prabhu, may I
to
ask a question?
yes.
So it's regarding the soul, Prabhu. Actually, as we know in second chapter, Krishna has very elaborately explained about the soul tattva or Sankhya philosophy. Um, Now, in terms of the form, like there are 8.4 million species. Now there are different forms, but does the soul also have a similar form? Like Prabhupada always gives example that we have a coat and the body is a soul. Draws an analogy like that. So the soul has a form. That's why there is a form of the body. So similarly, in all of these species, the form of the shape of the soul is as in this as for the with the species, or it's different, or it's constant
Prabhupada said the soul is like a human form.
across species, right?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is not a form. But the
And
soul can change any shape, anything, because that's its spiritual nature.
okay. And just to follow up on that, um,
Mm.
when we are okay, the size is also constant. Like when we go in a spiritual form, does the size remains the same in the spiritual form
But
of the
when
soul?
it takes the material body, accordingly it retains that. But when you go to the spiritual world, it can change its size, the form and everything.
I
You
see.
follow?
I see. Okay, so that's
That's the way
applicable.
that it retains its form, in the material world because it's caught by Maya. So therefore he cannot, he doesn't have understanding of himself, so he's deluded. But if
Okay.
he goes to the spiritual world, when he's in a spiritual form, there's no material form, and he's a big tree, or he's a chair, or he can do anything, no?
All right. Yes. Yes. And last one on that. In that spiritual form, is there a super soul also?
What?
In the spiritual form of the body,
Hmm.
in the spiritual world, is there a super soul in that
No, the
Jivatma?
super soul leaves the
Shirodakshay.
soul once he goes to spiritual world. The
Okay.
super soul is only up to the material world. The moment
Okay.
you go to the spiritual world, then the super soul, which is
Shirodakshay Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu, he goes back to his
Okay.
ordinary form.
Understand, bro. Yes, bro. Thanks.
There's no need because he's seeing God directly. Why he needs the super soul there?
Yes, Pratyaksha. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Everybody is very quiet. I wish you all a happy new year. We have started. I hope you all become more enthusiastic to spread Krishna consciousness more to all your areas you're coming from. Make more devotees. Yes?
Yes, bro. I have one more message. How do you know if you have a demoniac personality?
How do you know you have a demonic personality? All the qualities of demonic personality are described in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. You can see here. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking about his demonic qualities. And it mainly comes from the mode of passion and ignorance. The moment you go to the mode of passion, if you enter that, then all these demonic qualities will come into you. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance, these qualities belong to those who are demonic in nature. So these are the bad qualities, and this all comes when you are in the mode of passion and ignorance. So you have all this kind of a behavior, then it's not very good. There's more of the demonic qualities in the mode of passion and ignorance. So it is not advisable for you to enter into this So from here you can see all these demonic qualities. Material desire, great endeavor, audacity, dissatisfaction, even gain, false pride, praying for material advancement, considering oneself different and better than others, sense gratification, rash eagerness to fight, a fondness for hearing oneself praised, the tendency to ridicule others, advertising one's and justifying one's action by one's strength are qualities in the mode of passion. Intolerance, anger, stinginess, speaking without scriptural authority, violent hatred, living as a parasite, hypocrisy, chronic fatigue, quarrel, lamentation, delusion, unhappiness, depression, sleeping too much, false expectation, fear, and laziness constitute the major qualities of the mode of ignorance. See, these are all demonic qualities. So if you want to escape that, then the best thing is to come to the mode of goodness. And that you can do if you start chanting. Learn how to control past and future conditions, appreciation of sense gratification, faith in the spiritual master, being embarrassed at improper action, charity, simplicity, humbleness, satisfaction within oneself are qualities in the mode of goodness. So this is how you can improve yourself. So the best way to improve oneself is to actually how to come to the mode of goodness. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said the three modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, ignorance, pertain to material intelligence, not to the spirit soul. By development of material goodness, one can conquer the mode of passion and ignorance. And by cultivation of transcendental goodness, one may free oneself even from material goodness. So this process that we are teaching, the chanting of Hare Krishna, brings you to the transcendental goodness. So by chanting more and more, you will develop all the saintly qualities. So it is recommended that you start chanting immediately, and that's where you will be free from all these dirty things in the heart, and you will improve. See? When the living entity becomes strongly situated in the mode of goodness, then religious principles characterized by devotional service to me become prominent. One can strengthen the mode of goodness by cultivating those things that are already situated in goodness, and thus religious principle rise. So that is mandatory. So it says in another place that one should practice austerity. By practicing austerity, you come to the mode of goodness, and in this way you transcend and you become very happy because you come to the Brahma Bhuta platform. That is the spiritual platform. So this is highly recommended. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it in a easier way. All you got to do is chant. The moment you chant Hare Krishna, very quickly you come to this highest platform. So to avoid whatever demonic qualities we have, the best way to purify ourselves is to chant Hare Krishna as much as we can. Of course, Prabhupada has recommended that we chant 16 rounds, and that will yes, anyone who comes to devotional service, he will become purified, no doubt about it. I don't have all those demonic qualities, but may seem very familiar. I ask for the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all. So where are you from? Who's asking this? Where are you from? You don't have a mic, huh? Okay. So we have devotees in in the States, maybe you can leave your name and number, then we can get the devotees to help you out there. They can probably communicate with them. So devotee association will be very helpful to further strengthen your Krishna consciousness. So we have devotees in Texas, we have devotees in New Jersey, we have devotees in Chicago, LA. But going to ISKCON is going to be difficult because they are not in line with us, They may, of course, lead you to something which is not what Prabhupada wants you to do. That's why we are different from them. So the best thing you can, of course, you want to go there, nobody can stop you, but I would recommend you to also contact our devotees in this way. You can also stay, in Prabhupada consciousness. So you can try our...
Prabhu, actually, this is Luke Prabhu, who was with me in Texas.
Oh, really, huh? So
Yes.
Luke, he wants to go to New Jersey, so you can help him, huh?
Yeah, those Matajis over there.
Yeah, he's going to relocate to New Jersey. You can, try, encourage him to work with our devotees there. In this way, chant and improve himself.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you keep guiding him, huh? Mr. Luke, I wish you the best.
Yeah, that'll be the best course for him. It'll be easier. He doesn't have to fly out from America.
Now you chant, and slowly as you become more and more strong spiritually, then Krishna will also help you make, make good decisions for your life, no? So please continue your chanting. Chanting is the best thing you can do. So anybody got anything else to add? Yes, I'll continue. Yes, that's good. Just keep doing it, and Manu can, help you more and more.
When you were reading that verse, it was saying that one of the demonic qualities is having false expectation. What's the difference between having enthusiasm and then having false expectation?
Enthusiasm is positive, you are working towards Krishna consciousness. Well, false apprehensions and all is due to working for your own sense gratification. You understand? When you work for Krishna or Krishna consciousness, that gives you a lot of enthusiasm. But when you work for your own sense gratification, yes, you may get a little enthusiasm, no doubt about it. But because it's centered again on your own personal senses, then there's a beginning and there's an end. You see? Whereas spiritual thing, there's no end. It is always increasing more and more because you're doing it for Krishna. You understand?
Yes.
So therefore, it's encouraged to do things in Krishna consciousness. And not only that, when you do anything on your own, for your own capacity, then you're implicated also sinfully. When you do it for Krishna, then you're doing akarma, you got no reaction for that. You understand? So every action is binding. So better to do an action where you got no reaction.
Yes, bro. This is good.
That's why it's recommended that you do devotional service. And this way you will always become enthused, and Krishna also protect you and give you more guidance, intelligence, because you're rightfully situated. But when you act independently for your own sense gratification, then you get so many problems. Yes.
Yes, bro.
Hmm.
A lot of problems.
It makes a difference, and my love for Krishna is growing as a result. Yes, chanting is the best thing. The more we chant, the more we'll feel blissful. Because we're reconnecting ourselves with Krishna by chanting. Krishna become very pleased. And when Krishna become very pleased, then what is our position? Hmm? The only thing we can do in Kali Yuga is to chant Krishna's name. And that sums up everything. So, anybody have any other questions? Hmm? Devotional service is klesha agni even for beginners. This means that it reduces or nullifies all kinds of suffering. The word subhada indicates that devotional service bestows all good fortune. And the word Krishna Akarshini indicates that devotional service gradually attracts Krishna toward the devotee. Consequently, a devotee is not subject to any sinful reaction. So you can see how powerful devotional service. So when a person chants, the man becomes purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet create the holy places of pilgrimage. Therefore, what remains to be attained by those who have become his servants? Yes? See how powerful this program is, chanting Krishna's name. The person becomes purified. There's no other best way of purification other than chanting Krishna's name. Yes? Huh? Yes. The process of chanting is so powerful. If one is embarrassed by hunger, or who falls down or stumbles, chant the holy name of the Lord even once, willingly or unwillingly. He is immediately free from the reaction of his past deeds. Karmis entangled in material activities face many difficulties in the practice of mystic yoga and other endeavors to achieve that same freedom. See how powerful this program is? You simply have to open the mouth and chant, and everything is. So I would recommend you to chant as much as you can, and you'll see how Krishna will deliver you. Cannot be any other program. It's very simple to do, and you can do any place, anytime, anywhere. No restriction. All right, so Any other last question before we wrap up? Right, looks like everyone is. Stop here then. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
All glories to
Thank you
all
so
of
much,
you.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
All
Hare
glories.
Krishna, bro. Thank you, bro.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Please accept
Thank you so much,
this
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna Mama.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance always to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Ram Ram Ram.